Hi friends, so I am back with another book review. This one is going to be on Kemetic spirituality, and this book was a great book for beginners. If you already have done any bit of research, you probably wouldn't need this book. But if you are just like starting out on your journey and you're wanting to know more about Kemetic spirituality, this would be a very, very good book. It went into just like I guess the cosmology is what it would be called, I think, of the Egyptian gods and goddesses, and it just like went through like how their story of how they came to be. It goes through the 42 laws of Ma'at. And it talks about the tree of life, which is, I guess, to like the explanation of like how those gods and everything came to be. And then it talks about like different principles and a little bit about like astrology and how that connects to the gods and goddesses, and then the Kemetic diet and how important that is for your consciousness and going on your journey and stuff like that. And then I think it talks a little bit about like Reiki kind of stuff, and it gives you like some yoga poses and things like that, like towards the end of the book. It gives you some prayers. And yeah, so the book was pretty good. And like I said, for a beginner, I thought it was gonna dive more into like the stuff that you need to do to like be within the Kemetic spirituality type thing, but it just kind of gave like a brief overview as far as like the gods, the goddesses, the food you eat, how to like meditate or whatnot. I don't know, in my mind I thought it was going to go more into detail. Most of the stuff that was in here I already knew. There was a few things I didn't, and then kind of like some of the stories about the gods and goddesses were a little bit different than what I have like learned and stuff like that. But I know with this it's not an exact thing, just because like, of course, even though they have like the hieroglyphs and stuff wasn't written down like we would be able to write it down today. So there is like little like I don't know what the word would be, like discrepancies and like different gods and goddesses, like who they belong with, like who's the husband or wife to this person, who's the child to this person. The story of Asar was a little bit different. I've heard it like two ways, and then within this story they kind of combine the two ways. So I don't know, but overall I thought it was a pretty good book. Again, for beginners. If you just like reading, then this would be a good book to read. It wasn't like a hard read or anything like that. But if you are like just starting out, you're a new witch and you're like, I want to go with the Egyptian path, because there's so many different types of gods and goddesses that you can connect with. But if you wanted to go with the Kemetic path, then this will be a great book for you. One thing that does bother me though, like when, especially if you're writing Kemetic spirituality, I would think that you would use like the original names of the gods and goddesses, in which they end up using both. And I think it's just because we're so familiar with like more of like the Greek names for the gods and goddesses. But I just wish that authors, especially if you're saying Kemetic, because to me that means like you're really connecting to the original, like versus like saying like Egyptian, you're saying Kemetic spirituality, that we would be using the original names like throughout the book. You can like let them know in the beginning, this is this person or whatever, but within the Kemetic spiritual path, this is the name. so that we can have the original names, so that we can call them by their original names. Because I don't know, I just think it's weird, like, you're calling Isis instead of Aset, especially when you're in the Egyptian path. Now, if you're in the path of like Greece or whatever, the Greece, however you want to say it, then yeah, call her Isis. That's how they view her. That's her name for them, whatever. But if you're doing the Kemetic spirituality, like, I don't know, it's just a pet peeve for me. I know people can do what they want, but it's a pet peeve for me to call them the wrong names. I think that we should be calling them their correct names and things like that. Just like you want to be called your correct name and not something totally different. But anyhow, just to wrap it up, because this is just a quick little review. Get this if you're beginning, if you're ready, if you're just starting out. This is a really good, to me, I thought it was pretty thorough and just like letting you know the, you know, background, the backstory, and like so that you can test the water to see, is this really the path that I want to go, or do I want to go a different path? And that's pretty much it. To me, it didn't get so much into the spiritual aspect of like what it kind of looks like to follow the Kemetic path, and maybe that is just because I'm still learning too. Maybe it's just more of like a personal thing, I don't know, but it just really didn't give like a lot of instruction on that. To me, it just kind of gave more background information on this is who they are, and this is what you could do, and then tying the stuff together, like I said, like with the diet, like eating healthy so that your mind can be clear. You are what you eat. And a lot of people with the Kemetic path want you to be like raw vegan type thing, to eat the healthy you know, plants and stuff like that. But to me, I don't know, with all the craziness that they put in our plants, I'm like, what's worse, the plants, the water, the cows, the chicken? Like, it's all crazy, especially here in the US. I don't know how other countries are, but here in the US, our government don't care about us and our bodies or anything like that. But I hope you enjoyed the book review, and into the next one. Have a good day.